Top of the morning. I just wanted to share something to whoever may find this interesting or thought-provoking. On Sundays when I participate with Mike on the Urban Platform Speaks, Sunday is dedicated to sports talk. And we've been talking a lot about the WNBA and some of the things surrounding the conversation, or the conversation around the W, and the game itself too. And everybody's familiar with the controversy surrounding the W. Caitlin Clark and her fan base. People are, really being critical of her fan base. They believe that her fan base is attacking the women in the W, whether you be LGBTQ. I hope I'm saying that right. Whether you're black or whatever the case may be. You're being attacked by the fan base. And then on the other hand, the league, I feel like, is making an assertive effort to downplay this girl's accomplishments and impact as a result. So you have the two forces pushing against each other. And I wanted to touch on something I saw just this morning. It's a reporter. She covers the New York Liberty. Her name is Ros Gold-Onwude. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Well, she put out a post, and she says that she feels that Caitlin Clark is not being proactive in terms of her approach to the conversation or her participation in the conversation around racism, sexism, bigotry, homophobia and all this kind of stuff. She's not being proactive. She did admit that when prompted or asked, she says she denounces it, but she feels like she's not being proactive enough, and she thinks that she's going to watch to see if Caitlin during this off season educates herself more and determines how loud of a voice she wants to be. And in terms of being an ally or and voicing her opinion on what she likes to see inside her fan base. And for me, I think that's absolutely ridiculous, and I think it's asinine. And it's sad. And why it's sad to see women of color that's learning to achieve so much, and that's been blessed and gifted with such gifts, become the very thing that they despise. A lot of people talk about bringing awareness to problems in this world. And trust me, I was one that was very pro Colin Kaepernick and bring awareness to police brutality. I was all for that. But then you go through stages in life and you come to understand one very important thing. The awareness that really needs to be brought forward is not necessarily the awareness of what everyone else is doing. I think the thing that we really should be advocating is heightening self-awareness. See, when you become aware of self, then you really start understanding what's going on in this world and how to change it. I don't understand why Caitlin Clark, by simply saying, I don't ride with this, it's not acceptable, I denounce it, why that's not enough. See, when you talk about self-awareness, everyone's not an activist. Everyone is not born to be an activist. You understand what I'm saying? And why I say that is because when Muhammad Ali stood against the Vietnam War and he stood on what he believed in, that was organic expression. That was inside of him. He was a religious person, he was spiritual, he was godly. And he felt like the whole war and that premise was wrong. And he stood on it. But see, when he did it, he suffered. He suffered as a result of it. He had to spend jail time. He lost his right to box. He lost his connection to doing what he loved to do. He suffered. But nowadays, all these people being activists and things like that, it's all a brand now. There's no suffering involved in it. It's only you become an activist and now you're rewarded and that's celebrated. You know, Nike showed you that when they grabbed up Colin Kaepernick, gave him these ads and this big deal for being an activist. Now it's celebrated, so it's no longer authentic. You're not really going against any kind of oppression. Activism has become a brand. You're building your brand through activism. It's not even authentic anymore. So, you know, all this nonsense about what she should be and what she shouldn't be, I applaud the young lady for being true to herself. The girl just want to play basketball. That's it. And through that, the magic happens. And what I mean by that is I saw a video this morning where it was a village in Uganda, in Africa. They didn't have electricity, but through solar power, they set up a television and they had all these little young girls in a room. It's a advocacy group that helps young ladies that suffered trauma and stuff like that. I think it's called something Voices. But anyway, they set up this television and they allowed the young ladies to watch Iowa play Ohio State. And watching this, the little girls became so inspired. The one young lady spoke and said what she saw on television was like magic. And it wasn't about Caitlyn advocating anything. In this village, all these young ladies, they had a self-made hoop. They were out there trying to play basketball with Caitlin Clark jerseys on. These little dark black African girls. They were inspired by what they saw. And it wasn't because she was out speaking against racism and bigotry or anything like that. It was because she was staying true to her heart and her desires. You know, this woman talked about Caitlyn not being proactive. Let me say something to you about being proactive. Proactive is actually creating a problem that doesn't quite exist yet. You're trying to prevent a problem. It's impossible to prevent or to make a person feel or see or do or say certain things. No one has that control over another individual. It's based on their perception of things and how they feel. So to be proactive, sometimes it brings problems. It creates problems that may not never be there. And that's where self-awareness comes in at. Everything starts with us. Why am I going to be proactive? I'm honestly of the mindset that when you don't give something your focus and power, you don't give it life. To be proactive is giving something life that may not need to have life, that may not need to be in your reality. It's giving something life that you don't want to be in your reality. So I just wanted to say that. I wanted to say that it's a shame that, you know, black women are becoming, and black men, we're becoming the very thing we don't like and despise. You know, what we can't see and what we lack is self-awareness that, to be honest now, people are treating this young lady unfair based on her skin color. And because she's not gay or she's not black or whatever the case may be, it's almost like the league is trying to force her into one thing or another. And also this woman spoke like it's a requirement for her to be proactive or participate or educate herself on these issues and determine what she want to do. Talking about I'm watching her in the off season to see what she do. That's ridiculous. You'd be surprised what type of impact you can have on the world by just staying true to yourself. That's when the magic happens. You inspire others to stay true to themselves and find their happiness. And as more people become happy, that ultimately changes the world. Y'all have a great day. Godspeed.